Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. Well, there's really only a small group of singers who can sing anything and turn it into something profound. And one of those people was, of course, Al Wilson, one of the absolute finest soul singers of all time. For the song Show and Tell Alone, which is arguably his signature song, that song alone would have made him a legend. But he had so many interesting singles, one of the first of which was, of course, The Snake, which is a parable about how no good deed goes unpunished. It was later made famous, the lyrics anyway, by Donald Trump. But he had so many great covers of well known songs, as well as so many songs that he sort of made his own. Songs like the La La Peace Sign that came out in 1974, which was arguably in the midst of his golden era, with songs like Show and Tell and Touch and Go coming around that same time. But earlier on, he also did a wonderful, wonderful version of Poor Side of Town, a song that was made famous by the great Johnny Rivers. I believe that Johnny Rivers, in fact, wrote the song in addition to recording the most well-known version. But Al Wilson's version is amazing, so check it out. And he also does a wonderful soulful R&B version of Lodi, the great Creedence Clearwater Revival song. That one's a bit harder to find, but if you search around YouTube, you should be able to find it. He was someone who, because of poor record deals and bad advice, bad lawyers, no access to some of the lawyers that you would have needed, he didn't get treated as fairly as he could have been. And as a result, a lot of his stuff hasn't been remastered the way it ought to have been. There's a lot of sort of what sounds like 10th generation tapes that have been digitized and are floating around, pardon me, where really his stuff really they ought to get the masters and give him the treatment that he needs because his voice is so good it deserves to be heard in only the best quality. But luckily, at least some of his stuff has been remastered and given the treatment that it's so deservingly is deserving of. He sadly died relatively young by today's standards, at the age of 68 in 2008, but he left a wonderful legacy of just such great songs. Like I said, Show and Tell alone would be enough to make him a legend, but everything he did was perfect. He had one of those voices that both smiled and wept at the same time. And that might sound weird, but when you listen to him sing, I think you'll know exactly what I mean. So check his stuff out today. As always, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.